Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. This is the third session on this tour where I would channel to you, this group, about something I am saying is brand new in this energy, in what you would call your enablement, in metaphysics, in your spiritual journey. And we've told you before, the newness comes from the shift. This shift that you are going through is a conscious elevator if you choose to accept that. That's what it was designed for. A time when the consciousness of Earth starts to raise itself up. We also said again that this was also the prophecies of the ages linked to the precession of the equinoxes, and here you are. This is not something that comes from Kryon. This is something that was expected, that you have earned. It is your destiny, and it's why you're on the planet, old soul. I ask that angelicness, the properties of spirit that live with you, to let you hear this in a light that makes sense. This is not a meditation where we visualize going into that which is your soul. This is something that is done in other places and other times by my partner. This is teaching. What is the soul? This is what many have called the higher self, known by almost all of that which is humanity in other names and other words. Some speak of touching your own angels. Some speak of the higher self. But it all is a reflection of knowledge that there's something above you, which is you. And some say it is untouchable. It is beyond you, on the other side of the veil. You see it when you leave to come here. You see it when you go away. But I am telling you, it is always with you. So I want to give you a couple of the attributes for you to understand before we can even start telling you what is truly there for you. First of all, let me review this. You don't get it when you're born. It watched the earth be shaped. Outside these windows, before any human walked on this planet, long before that, it watched the ocean that was here, which shaped the rocks as you walk in the seabed today. Your soul was there then. Your soul is always and has always been. And now it is tasked, your soul, with teaching you and accompanying you and being with you as a human being. And in this new age of energy, you can start communicating with it. I have told you before that you are linear and your soul is multidimensional. I have told you that multidimensionality is the way of things in many places, if you want to call it a place. And that you are linear, living in 4 dimensions. But that doesn't mean that the other dimensions aren't here. They all are here. You are only aware of a reality of 4. And there are many who still don't understand that. So I'm going to spend a moment describing what multidimensionality truly must be like. And all of it is beyond that which you are used to. Let me start with this. When you were a child, you learned that billions of people could give prayers to God at the same time, and God could listen to them all. That God knew you, could listen to you apart from the others. This is an example of a multidimensional source. But it goes beyond that. What if you had 5 or 6 friends, and they all came over for dinner? And you gave the signal, and you all started talking to one another simultaneously. That wouldn't work. Not in a linear world. Even 2 is difficult If they are giving you instructions and you're trying to hear them, even two is difficult. A linear human being must concentrate and focus on one thing at a time. Now, you might say, well, I can multitask. That's tasking. I'm talking about communication. You might say, well, I regularly have 2 or 3 television sets on different channels during my day, and I listen to them all. No, you don't. You listen to one and the other are noise. And then you listen to the other ones, and the other ones are noise. One at a time, that's your limit. That's the linear creature you are. In addition, you are used to certain kinds of things in your reality. If someone stands next to you and they speak to you, you listen to them and you hear them. If they stand farther away, they're harder to hear. If they go in another place, you can't hear them at all. This is that which is linear. It's your reality. In a multidimensionality, every time they speak, you hear them. You hear them very clearly, no matter where they are. There is no lessening of their volume with distance. Distance makes no difference in a multidimensionality. Here is one of the things that physicists know. They have discovered something which is astonishing them, and they're still trying to understand it. But they know this, that if you have an object on the Earth and an object on Mars, let's say, and they are entangled objects, they can communicate with one another. If you touch one, the other moves. There is no distance. There is no delay. That is multidimensionality. Now, I give you this so that you will give allowance for the things I'm going to tell you. You make another assumption. The more years you live, the earliest memories you have are harder to remember. Now, that means that your distance in time is also part of your reality. Well, I can't remember that. It's too far long ago. Ask me something that happened yesterday and I'll do better. That is linear. What if I take you to a place? What if you go to a place? What if you could access a place where everything you have ever experienced anywhere is like a library of records where you could go and pull it off the shelf and read it word by word? What if it was a video instead? And you could go pull it off the shelf and play it as it happened yesterday. That would be multidimensionality. So I will give you the first thing that you can access when you go to that which is your soul energy. I'm not asking you to go there now, although some of you will, because this is so entrancing. It's so mysterious to some. It's so exciting to some. Your Akashic record is there. Everything that has ever happened. Now let's do this. Everything that's ever happened in your life is there. Since the day you were born, you can go to that library. You can recreate every single day. You can hear what you said and see what you did. What you were like, what you looked like. You could see your mom and dad. All of those who you've loved and lost at some level are in your soul. I'm going to tell you that in another lesson, but that video will have them right there. What if that video was holographic? What if it was the next layer of virtual video? What if it became a room and you were there and you saw yourself and you saw your parents perhaps and it was when you were taken home from the hospital if you were born in a hospital. That's how vivid it is. That's there. Time does not then diminish any of it. Now that's this life. Many of you understand that the system of your soul is many lifetimes on earth as a human being. This is a subject that does not simply belong to esoteric believers. This belongs to the first, what we would call, organized religion on the planet, or the one that called themselves something under a master. Hinduism, hundreds of years ago, that was the basis. Almost half of this planet believes still in many lifetimes. It's intuitive. You start to remember, you start to understand. Things in past lifetimes are so present in this one, sometimes you carry them right in. It's the reason that musicians become musicians. Artists become artists, because some things go through that veil of incarnation, and you do them again and again. There are so many examples of this. So let's take a look at that library of records. Your past lives are there on this planet, all of them, in that same library, as vivid as anything that happened right now, a moment ago. Accessible to you when you go there with intent. Dear Spirit, I would like to go there and find something that I need right now. What is it you might need right now? Kryon, are you telling us we could go there and actually, like a miner, mine the Akash? You can go there and get something, like get the gold that you need of you. Everything you have done in a past life is available this life. Did you know that? That's the setup. Only now can you see how powerful it would be to go there on a regular basis and examine it. What is it you might want? Dear Spirit, I'm having difficulty with this and that. But I know in my past lives I didn't. I know that in there was me with no difficulty. Dear Spirit, let me go back into that record and grab that part of me that is me, but just the past me, and bring it to the current me. Can you do that? And the answer is yes. This is all part of this new teaching that I am giving now, something that I have referred to now for decades, is right in front of you. Is doable and possible with learning. Dear angels, in these places right now, give those that need it a glimpse that this is real. Don't make it complex. Don't make it frustrating. Remember what I told you. If any of these things appeal to you and you say, I would like that. Oh boy, would I like that. If any of these things appeal to you in that way, then tonight, just say to Spirit, Dear Spirit, I want to know more at the rate that I can absorb them. Give me the synchronicity of learning. Let me see how that might be possible for me. I don't expect it right away, but I want to know more. And that will start to happen because you have given intent for it to be. Spiritual things which are intended in this way are answered. Requests that are not in this way are often not. That's because Spirit wants the connection of you, your compassion to yourself, in kindness, but mainly the cognizing or belief that you have a higher angel of your own, ready and willing to help you in these things. That is your Akashic record. That is that record which will take you back all of your lifetimes. That is the value. That's the gold. That's the big one that we tell you is there. Oh, but if your soul is forever and your soul had no beginning and no end, do you think there is a possibility that you did this before on another planet? Wow, what an idea. The library for that is there as well. But it becomes a little more obfuscated, a little harder to get. And here's the reason. What you really need to know for your ascension today, for a status of enlightenment today, for living longer today, is wrapped up in you as a human being on this planet. Even if you had 1,000 lifetimes, this is where the learning is. And the love of spirit knows that. And so it's harder to get to any other places and any other libraries, but they are all there. There's a door, perhaps even with a lock on it, saying, not yet. Study that which you need to know about yourself first, and all the other things will be added on. How do you feel personally about this? Is it too strange? It shouldn't be. Not for an awakening old soul, even if you don't know what is happening with you. Dear Spirit, I'm having trouble right now. Dear Spirit, I need to go into my soul. I need to pick up that which I don't even know where it is. I don't know how to do it. Please bring it to me now, because that's who I was. I earned it. I earned it for today. That is what's possible right now. I'm crying in love with all of you, and humanity in general that is beginning to awaken, but the old souls first, because they will be teaching the others. Not in courses and not in books, but in how they act and what happens to them, and others will see it. And they'll ask eventually, how did you do that? That's where the teaching is. Just like it's happened in this land. That's how it happens with the ancients. They speak to each other, they sing to each other, they tell stories. And that is what you will do as well, in your own way, in this lifetime and all the others to come. And so it is.